Up the steps. And that is the biggest fear that I always have. My name is Leslie Hairston. I'm the alderman of the 5th Ward, which is where we are sitting today in this beautiful venue, the South Shore Cultural Center. And the South Shore Cultural Center is special because some of you may not know this, but at one time they wanted to tear it down and build something else. And the community came together to save this, and now this is a beautiful Park District facility, and it's active, and people use it as a venue for weddings and movies. So I am very pleased to be here and be a part of this. We have had lots of investment, lots of partnerships with the City of Chicago and the Chicago Park District to make this the venue that it is. I'd like to take the opportunity to acknowledge some of my colleagues that are here. Alderman Walter Burnett of the 27th Ward. Alderman Sue Sadlowski Garza of the 10th Ward. I know she. Alderman Roberto Maldonado of the 26th Ward. And last but not least, my colleague across the street, Alderman Greg Mitchell of the 7th Ward. So I am so excited to be here. You've seen some of the boards over there and the wonderful investments that have been made because of this program. We are here to celebrate the 2nd anniversary of this program, and I thank Mayor Lightfoot for her leadership, her guidance. She and her team have made this a priority, and I am so grateful for that. It's something that should have been done a long time ago, but she's doing it now. She's getting it done, and let's give them a hand.
Good morning. My name is Samir Mayakar, and I'm so proud to serve as Deputy Mayor for Neighborhood and Economic Development here in the City of Chicago for Mayor Lightfoot. I'd like to welcome you all here to the South Shore Cultural Center, and I'd like to thank the Park District and their fearless leader, Russ Escareno, for hosting us here today. As the alderman noted, this is a historic facility, and it actually has received $6 million of Invest Southwest funding to support historic preservation, and we're very happy about that. So today is a momentous day for Invest Southwest. I think many of you were here 2 years ago when we were out in Austin on the west side to launch this program in the fall of 2019. And then many of you joined us again last year in Bronzeville for the 1-year anniversary. And little did we know when this program first started what we would be facing a few months in. We did not know about the pandemic, the economic crisis, civil unrest. But through all of that, it was very clear from the top that this was a key priority for our mayor. And so our team worked tirelessly, despite everything else going on in this country and in this city, to keep this program on course. And if you look at this booklet, you will see how on course it is, because we've accomplished a great deal and there's much more to accomplish. Now, Invest Southwest is all about collaboration between the public sector, the private sector, and the nonprofit sector. And you're going to hear from our planning commissioner and the RFP winners today about what the private sector is doing. You're going to hear from the mayor about how much the public sector has stepped up. But I'd like to bring up Dr. Helene Gale, who's a key nonprofit leader here in Chicago, who is the CEO of the Chicago Community Trust, to talk a little bit about what the nonprofit sector has done and how we are truly collaborating between all three sectors. So please give a warm South Shore welcome to Dr. Helene Gale. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Samir. And wow, it's wonderful to see everybody out here and have this exciting and festive feeling. This really gives me so much hope for where we are and where we can go in the future. You know, I wanted to sing and dance myself as they were giving us all this joyous music, but the Alderwoman said, I can't do either very well, but our mayor can, and maybe we all know she is a singing mayor, so maybe we might get a little bit from her later. But anyway, thank you so much, Samir, and really thanks for all you do for the city, and also congratulations on being a new father. You know, it may be in the end what you consider to be your most proud accomplishment, but I know it really only amplifies your commitment to making sure we leave this region in better shape for the future. So thanks for all you do and congratulations. At the Chicago Community Trust, we've called closing the racial wealth gap between Black and Latinx and white household Chicago's moonshot. We believe doing so can chart a new course of economic mobility here in our region. The wealth gap, the wealth divide between Black and Latinx and white communities and households is the root of our region's most significant challenges, whether it manifests as stagnant economy, poor public safety, poor health and long life expectancy gap, and family well-being. The wealth gap has slowed the economic progress for our entire region. Initiatives such as this one, Invest Southwest, and plans such as We Will Chicago play such an important role in building the future for what we want for all of Chicago. That's why I'm so thrilled to be here to mark the second anniversary of Invest Southwest and celebrate this important funding that has really been a game changer for communities. Invest Southwest was ahead of its time in many ways. It predated the inequities that were laid bare during the COVID pandemic. Chronic disinvestment in neighborhoods combined with conditions that exacerbated health risks left communities of color particularly vulnerable to the virus and its economic consequences. That makes the work of Invest Southwest even more important than ever. It's brought together philanthropy, the private sector, and communities to join the resources for greater impact than any of us could have had on our own. And it's given those of us outside of government the opportunity to work with the public sector to strengthen our city. At the Trust, it's been a helpful roadmap as we've thought about how to catalyze investment in disinvested neighborhoods. We've included Invest Southwest in a number of our own requests for proposals, including our pre-development funds and our We Rise Together initiative. It has incentivized applicants to submit projects and ideas for development in long disinvested communities and do that works in collaboration with the public sector. Not far from here in South Chicago, the Trust Pre-Development Fund is supporting 548 development's large mixed-use project and 45 units of affordable and market-rate housing, while also supporting Clarice and Associates' nearby redevelopment of a vacant building on 92nd Street across from the Metro station into a social enterprise cafe. So proud of these projects that are really bringing new life, new investment in these communities. It's the projects that are big and small that can make such a difference in reawakening corridors that were once bustling and that have such potential if only granted the resources. It's about the coffee shop and the grocery shop, the high-profile mixed-use development near the transit stop and the barber shops on the corner. These main streets can be the heartbeat of our communities once again, places for our neighbors to shop, catch a bus or a train, enjoy each other's company, and enjoy the quality of life amenities that many of us take for granted. Thank you to our mayor and to Commissioner Cox for envisioning a roadmap that will get us there. If we succeed here, the Chicago region could serve as a model for the country in building back stronger and possibly transforming systems and the way of doing business that have held us back for far too long. Now, from her first days as mayor, Mayor Lightfoot has challenged all of us to center equity in our work. She has not had an easy road trying to bring equity to our economy in the midst of a pandemic that brought on an economic crisis. But throughout it all, she has been unwavering from her vision of a Chicago that does work for all of us. She has advocated for policies and initiatives such as Invest Southwest that will bring much needed resources and attention to long disinvested neighborhoods. Our mayor knows that if only given the opportunity and equitable resources, all of our communities and all of our people can live to reach their full potential. So, for the woman who needs no introduction, I bring to you Mayor Lori Lightfoot. Thank you for all your team does to make this a more equitable, just, and prosperous region.
So, folks, I hope you're going to bear with me because I have a lot to say this morning. So just indulge me a little bit. First of all, it's always a pleasure to be in this space. I've experienced many, many joyous moments in this room, not the least of which is this is where I really met my wife, and it was clear that we were going to be together in this space. So this means a lot to me to be here. Thank you, Dr. Gale, for that very generous introduction, but more importantly, thank you so much for the work that you have done to really transform the Chicago Community Trust and be an incredible partner to us, particularly through the pandemic. I want to give thanks to the Park District and Interim General Superintendent Rosa Escarino, who is doing remarkable things in a short amount of time. She's sprinting. And we're right there with her. So thank you, Rosa, and thank you to the team. We are here today not only to announce 3 new Invest Southwest RFP developer teams, but to celebrate, as Samir said, 2 years of transformational achievements through this initiative. It's a painful truth that in too many ways Chicago is a tale of 2 cities. There's a Chicago that's sprawling with commerce and tourism and economic opportunity. But then there's also another Chicago, particularly on our south and west sides, that continues to struggle with historic disinvestment, gaps in opportunity, and violence. That is obviously an unacceptable state of being, and it's something that I've been working to change night and day since the minute I became the mayor of this great city. Not just because it's the moral thing to do, but because the destinies of our neighborhoods are intertwined. One neighborhood cannot succeed unless all of our neighborhoods succeed. We must embrace this as a truth in our city, and we will rise or fall together. When I first became mayor, I called upon our city to forge a new path guided by our North Stars of equity and inclusion. Through these guiding principles, we can put an end to the decades-old practices of flawed economic plans and policies made along racial lines. My team and I knew that to start the process of righting these historic wrongs, we needed to be bold, collaborative, and innovative. I must credit Samir Mayakar, our deputy mayor, for neighborhood and economic development. I had the vision and instinct about what needed to be done, but Samir and his team in the mayor's office and at planning and housing really made the vision a reality. They dug in, and he did research and was a quarterback who made the vision a reality. So Samir, on behalf of a grateful city and the people here and the people who will benefit for decades to come from your and your team's hard work, thank you so much for your incredible service. And I'm pleased to say that I believe his mom and dad are here this morning. So to the Mayakar family, this is also an important day for you all as well. I also have to thank and credit Department of Planning Commissioner Maurice Cox. First of all, for saying yes and allowing us to lure you from Detroit, where you had done such great, incredible work, but also making sure that, as the saying goes, that you were going to make sure that community was at the center of the table. You understand that we can't do anything for community without community being at the table front and center. And thank you for making sure that we stay true to that reality. I also want to thank our Commissioner of Housing, Marissa Navarro. You know, she doesn't necessarily always get the limelight that others do, but I got to tell you, what a force for good. What an innovative, great leader who understands why affordable housing is so important to the health and well-being in Chicago. And every great initiative that we have done around affordable housing, support for renters, making sure that we're seeing landlords and supporting them, it's originated because of Commissioner Navarro's vision. So thank you so much. So to forge this new path forward, in October 2019, we officially launched our Neighborhood Development Initiative, Invest Southwest, and it's just what it means, investing in the South and the West sides of our city. For the last 2 years, Invest Southwest has brought transformative, visible changes to our South and West Side communities, as you see, totaling to date $1.4 billion in investments in public, private, and philanthropic contributions. And yes, that is a tremendous amount of money, but this isn't just a transactional outcome. By leveraging partnerships with the private sector, philanthropy, and our communities, we have a careful process in place from ideation to completion to ensure that the changes are positive, catalytic, and importantly, long-standing. Invest Southwest marshals and channels hundreds of millions of dollars of public, private, and philanthropic investments. It delivers these investments into the 12 commercial corridors and 10 targeted South and West Side neighborhoods. These 10 neighborhoods were selected because they are brimming with potential, having access to public transit, commercial activity, public spaces, and more. We didn't start with a blank canvas. We came into community at tables that were already set and brought our resources, our convening power to those tables to make the changes that you're going to hear more about in a moment. In each of these 12 corridors, we are doing what each unique community asks. We are creating job opportunities, revitalizing streetscapes, enhancing public spaces, improving and building housing, including affordable and public housing, and establishing necessary amenities and infrastructure. People in communities know that if they ever saw development, it was a series of one-offs that were not catalytic, brought minimal jobs, and fundamentally did not spark more development. And unlike historic trends, Invest Southwest is bigger than simply situating low-income housing in some Black and brown neighborhoods. These projects are designed to enhance the quality of our life for our residents, spark new and complementary development and investments. It's also important to note that we were very intentional that RFP respondents must reflect the diversity of the neighborhoods in which these developments were proposed. We wanted to expand the portfolios of developers of color, architects, engineers, designers, landscapers, and other creatives, and we have done just that. Creating opportunities for all, uplifting and showcasing a diverse range of talent. One of the legacies and accomplishments of this initiative is that we have created broad and deep exposure for our cohort of people of color and women that might not have existed without this work. Through these efforts, we are unlocking the potential of our communities and our entire city by uplifting and honoring the talent of residents and families who live in these communities. As we went about this work, we knew that having the city come in and tell communities, we're doing this for you and we're doing this way, would never work. Along every step of this journey, we listen to the communities we wanted to uplift. And as you see in the slide presentation in the booklets, and again, I got to credit Commissioner Cox and his team, we engaged in these remarkable listening sessions where people from communities were actually brought in, and they identified for us what their needs were. And we saw remarkable things that were being uplifted by the community that we didn't understand and see but for being in concert with them. We worked from the ground up and alongside the community groups who already had plans in the works, as well as the local aldermen who knew that the needs of their communities, and worked hand in glove with us to make sure that we were refining these proposals in a way that supported the work that was already in progress. And I just got to give a shout out to the many aldermen, not only the ones that are here, but the others who participated in this work and have been and will continue to be our partners every step of the way. Thank you so much for everything that you do to support your communities. We selected corridor managers for each targeted area from the very communities in which they live to employ their intimate knowledge and experiences within these communities. They work to align the efforts of the government entities, the community organizations, philanthropy, and business owners towards a common goal of economic revitalization of these communities. And let me give one example. In the Back of the Yards, we've selected President and CEO of the Back of the Yards Neighborhood Council, Craig Chico, to be our corridor manager there. Craig is a Chicago native with deep roots in the Back of the Yards, who interacts with and supports the small business owners on behalf of Invest Southwest every day. Within each layer of collaboration, we develop new partnerships and all hands on deck strategy for boldly moving forward. That is what we've been tirelessly, proactively working on for these 2+ years, and not even a pandemic could disrupt this groundbreaking work. Allow me to share some of the historic outcomes of this work. Again, to date, Invest Southwest has committed $1.4 billion of capital, and yes, ladies and gentlemen, to paraphrase then Vice President Joe Biden, that's a big friggin' deal. This work goes towards transportation and mobility, parks and open spaces, housing investments, small businesses, arts, and community infrastructure. These public sector projects reflect over 250 investment line items, ranging from programmatic investments like the Artisan Residence Initiative to improvements in Park District properties, CPS renovations, and new housing projects. Our public sector investments help mobilize a complementary $5.7 million in private sector commitments. For example, BMO stood with us on day one when we launched Invest Southwest by announcing a $10 million commitment to benefit the Austin Soul City corridor through United Way of Metro Chicago. And again, I've got to thank Dave Casper, who I love, the BMO CEO, for all of his work and his whole team. BMO's commitment has undoubtedly catalyzed countless others to step up to the plate and do their part as well. Just last month, Fifth Third Bank announced a $20 million investment towards the South Chicago neighborhood. These companies join a growing list of others who are recognizing the potential of our south and west sides by standing up and relocating operations there. Companies like Discover, Amazon, and Joe Mansueto, the lead investor at the terminal, showcasing that Invest Southwest is good for job creation and good for business. Private sector commitments are being deployed to commercial and housing developments, as well as loan-based commitments to support continued small business and housing growth. Additionally, Invest Southwest has supported the development of 10 flagship city-issued RFP sites through the 10 targeted communities, totaling more than $300 million in planned investments. I got to tell you, I'm particularly proud of the RFP work, and again, thank you for all involved. All in all, so much incredible transformational work is being done. To highlight some of that work, there's a $15.9 million Healthy Lifestyle Hub under construction in Auburn Gresham that will offer medical, dental, behavioral, and other healthy services to about 11,000 residents annually. We are working to close those gaps that make the experience of being black and brown in this city so difficult. We will create a better, healthier community residence because of investments like the one in Auburn Gresham. 2.4 million. You can clap for that. 2.4 million renovation of the Austin Town Hall Cultural Center, which is on the National Registry of Historic Places, and we will serve as a place for Austin residents to continue to gather, to learn, and to play. And located in the heart of Brownsville, now stands 4400 Grove, a 38 million 84-unit complex bringing affordable housing, public housing, and market-rate apartments. And on the ground floor, retail and commercial spaces that will welcome 12 local businesses, all of which will be operated by people of color with a focus on small mom-and-pop tenants. More projects like these are still in the works. In fact, today we're here to announce the third round of winning RFP developers. I'm not going to steal Commissioner Cox's thunder, and the development teams will go into more detail, but let me say this. The change is coming to Humboldt Park, South Shore, and West Humboldt Park that will offer residential units, office spaces, and entrepreneurial hubs. Each of these projects were selected based on the developer experience, diversity of their development team, and community feedback. They will further be refined through additional community engagement activities prior to the formal review and approval process by the Chicago Plan Commission, the City Council, and other entities. Construction on these three projects is expected to start next fall, and we're all excited to see the shovels in the ground. And I'm looking forward to seeing and hearing more about these projects. Now, folks, as we look to the future, we are thinking about how to leverage new resources coming from the federal bipartisan infrastructure bill. I had the pleasure of being in Washington, D.C. on the lawn of the White House on Monday as the President signed this historic measure into law. Many people have talked about it, but Joe Biden has gotten it done. And let me just tell you that in the hundreds that were gathered there, a celebration that had the same feel as this, the city of Chicago was on the lips of many. They know what we're doing. They're watching us, and they know that we are leading the nation in making sure that we are capitalizing on the investments that are coming from the federal government to better the lives of our residents every day. And we are going to do just that with your help and God's will. There's new funding for transportation programs, safe streets, and reconnecting communities, to name a few. We will be looking how to maximize the funding by building on the successes that we celebrate here today, and we're going to do it just like we did with this, by coming to you, members of the community, with a humble heart and a listening ear to understand the ways in which we can use these new federal resources to transform the quality of life in our neighborhoods. You can bet on that, but the future of Chicago looks bright because of all the hard work of so many. Now, as I look back over these last 2 years, I have to say I'm overwhelmed but overjoyed at what we've been able to accomplish, and particularly given that we've done this incredible work during a global pandemic, social unrest, and massive economic dislocation. Folks, we were not deterred. We were not discouraged. We were determined, focused, and intentional that the work had to be done. Bringing the transformative change and disrupting the status quo is what we are about, and we are incredibly proud of all of that. We said that we would do it, and ladies and gentlemen, we are here to say we're delivering on that promise. Now, there are critics who will say that my focus on the neighborhoods is depriving downtown areas. Well, we all know that that's not true. But let's also tell the real truth, that continued neglect of our neighborhoods not only is unacceptable, but it's not cost-free. We are seeing those costs manifest themselves, particularly through this pandemic, in the way in which Black and brown communities have been disproportionately affected by this pandemic because we have ignored our communities for way too long, and to the peril of everyone that lives in these communities. And what I will say is this is a day to celebrate for all of our residents. We've got to walk arm in arm boldly into the future together. That must be our destiny. We no longer can accept the segregation into tribal fiefdoms that has dominated our city for way too long. North side versus west side versus south side. These rivalries may be okay for sports, but in real life, when our destiny is on the line, as a city, we must walk forward together, united as one Chicago. And that's what these investments and this day must be all about. So again, in closing, thank you to so many. Thank you to everybody who came to a visioning session, everybody who offered up your ideas, everybody who's been toiling in this vineyard for years and years and years, but came together in this special moment to make sure that a day like this was possible. I am grateful and honored every single day to be the mayor of this incredible city. You all put the wind in my sails, and we've got more work to do. We're not finished. This is a beginning, not an ending. But God bless everyone involved, and thank you so much. Now I'd like to welcome Baron Waller to the podium. Thank you.
I would like to thank Mayor Lightfoot, Deputy Mayor Myercar, Commissioner Cox, the Chicago Neighborhood Initiative, Chase, Chicago Community Loan Fund, Powers & Sons, and Alderman Beal for helping us build the Culvers in Pullman. They say that it takes a village to raise a child. I say that it takes many partners to build a community. I want to thank each one in helping us in this effort. In Pullman, we were able to build the first standalone sit-down restaurant in 30 years. We were able to bring 70 jobs to the community. And we were able to bring a stabilizing business to the area. These partners and the Neighborhood Opportunity Fund made something happen in the neighborhood that would not have happened without teamwork and these partners. I'm a Chicagoan, born and raised, born on the west side of the city, Garfield Park and Lawndale. I moved to the south side of the city in Chatham, and I took 2 L's and a bus to the north side where I attended Lane Tech. Later I moved to South Shore, Brownsville, West Loop, so I was really a part of the city. I love Chicago, and I support the Invest Southwest initiative. I believe we have to bring people, businesses, and jobs to underserved communities so they can grow and bring opportunity to those who reside in them. People in these communities have to eat, make money for themselves and their families. The only way we can make change is to stabilize the community by bringing jobs and help. I have 3 Culver's restaurants in Chicago, Brownsville, Ravenswood, and Pullman, and 3 in the suburbs. I'm looking to bring more to our communities. Well, I brought the first Culver's to Chicago in Brownsville 4 years ago. Where I had to convince others these communities can support and sustain our type of restaurant. Because these communities want good service, they want good food, just like the suburban restaurants. So So for the last 4 years, we've shown and proven that it can run and be successful. Now, I am looking forward to proving more by working closer with the city to identify communities where we can partner to bring more Culver's restaurants to Chicago within underserved neighborhoods. I plan to bring more minority operators and owners by using Culver's mentoring program. The Invest Southwest initiative is exactly that program we need to accomplish this. I will continue to look for opportunities to expand my business and give others opportunities for ownership. Watch out, West Side. Watch out, South Shore. Watch out, underserved communities. Invest Southwest, and Culver's is coming your way. Again, I thank you very much for the NOF funding. I mean, it made a difference. It has helped immensely in building the Culver's in Pullman. And I look forward to working to bring more Culver's restaurants to Chicago and to new neighborhoods. Thank you.
All right. Good morning. Good morning. I don't know about you, but I'm here to celebrate. This has been 2 long years to get us to this point. And my main role is to introduce some extraordinary talent that will be building the future of the South and West Side. But first, I'd like to give a few thank yous. Thank you first, Mayor Lightfoot, really for all you've done to bring us to this point, to this day, where we can announce extraordinary catalytic investments in the South and West Side. And I also would just like to thank all of you. Many of you have been along on this journey to what we believe is an equitable and resilient Chicago that starts on the South and West Side, and it's poised to grow again, but to grow in an inclusive manner. These 2 years of Invest Southwest have been an incredible beginning of what I believe is the most strategic urban redevelopment anywhere in the country, and it starts right here. Now, I've been really trying to figure out how to capture in words the significance of this moment, and I think I was inspired by the Friends Band this morning with a song that I remember from the 70s. Some of you may remember James Brown's The Big Payback. The Big Payback. All right. So I consider this the first installment of The Big Payback, $1.4 billion, right? Moving forward this community, and it starts, and you have to understand, these down payments, they beget more and more. So this is the first $1.4 billion, and more will come. So before I announce our winners of the RFPs, I just want to acknowledge all the community input that went into this event and got us to this moment. The previous 2 rounds of RFPs, it was the community's insight that helped us do this work. They helped us identify the project locations. Many of you don't know that the selected projects today are not publicly owned properties. These were areas that the community said, start here. And we worked with those property owners to put those out for RFP. The development goals, the programmatic mix that you're going to see, that was identified by the community. The public benefits, how they wanted these development companies to show up. And of course, the RFP winners themselves. So I want to thank all those voices out there that helped to shape the future, who are helping to shape the future of the South and West Side. I'd also like to just acknowledge our City Council, the partners we've had there, the support that they've given us and will give us to make sure that this endeavor represents their residents. Alderman Maldonado, Alderman Mitchell, Alderman Burnett, our hosts, Alderman Hairston, just the commitment that you've shown to this of equity in your communities is our guiding light. This is what's driving Invest Southwest and will continue as we move forward. So thank you. And of course, I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the yeoman's work of our staff at the planning department. They are extraordinary. Some of them are here today. I'd love to give them a round of applause. In addition, I call on my partner in crime, Commissioner Navarra, and the Department of Housing, World Business Chicago, the Chicago Central Area Committee. All of these and others have been a part of supporting this process. So none of these investments could happen without your work, and we will be depending on you well into the future as we bring these forward. So to be clear, Invest Southwest is more than bricks and mortar. It's more than simply supporting small businesses. It's more than public realm improvements. Invest Southwest, under Mayor Lightfoot's leadership, is cultivating what we believe to be a new generation of developers that will actually build these places. They're emerging Black and brown and women-owned businesses that have patiently waited for opportunities of this scale and this impact, and they are poised to deliver. It's not only, they not only have the capacity and the expertise, they also represent the diversity that we know is essential for the long-term success of our neighborhoods. Because we all know that resiliency is not possible without equity, and equity is not possible without action. So we are here to get these buildings built, these places started, and in that spirit, I'd like to move to that moment we've all been waiting for, where I have the pleasure to announce the 3 winning projects for the city's 3rd round of Invest Southwest. I'd like each of the development teams to join us on stage when I announce your project. And so we will start with Humble Park. Humble Park on Chicago Avenue, where we targeted a site on the southwest corner of Chicago and Central Park Avenues. It's privately owned. That's currently being used as a parking lot and has 2 small 1-story buildings on it. It's a 0.6 acre site that generated 2 very strong proposals for redevelopment. After much consideration and after much community input, we arrived at a final selection. And I am thrilled to announce the winning team as the AV team. If the team could please come up. This project is a joint venture led by KMW Communities, POA, and the Community Engagement Through Construction. The team also includes NIA Architects, Gensler, Site Design, Will Dubois Design, Engage Civil, KDM Engineering, and Level 1. If you could join us on the stage, please. A sharp-looking group. So while they take a photo with the mayor, I'm going to read a couple of the stats. The AV is a $25.3 million mixed-use complex that will completely transform this stretch of Chicago Avenue. It includes 44 units of affordable housing, approximately 21,000 square feet, with a restaurant, a gym, and a daycare space, and an extensive opportunities for public art and community gathering. And it also will accommodate the new offices of the Neighborhood Housing Services. So, congratulations. And after the photo, I'd love to have you share, members of your team, to share a few words. So,
I'm not one for many speeches, but we just like to do good work, good content, and just show our talents. I'm Bill Williams with KMW Communities.
All right.
Thanks. So I'd like to say how grateful we are to be a part of this transformational process on Chicago Avenue. I'm from the area. I moved all over the city in search of affordable housing, so that's my passion. But we follow wherever the opportunity happens. And I just like to thank, the aldermen. We've been in the trenches together for years. We have friends now on the 5th floor, the 3rd floor, the 10th floor at City Hall, which is great. The access has never been this way since I've been doing this. And, Chicago Avenue has seen better days. Over the last 20 years, it's lost 30% of its population. That's really a profound number that you can see it on the streets, every day as we drive down the street. And we had to bring, a real group of people who've done this work before, who has worked together independently together and as a group. We had to bring real urban planners with Gensler and Scott and Andre, and they just done tremendous work. And we had to bring CEC, who is an employment specialist, because we understand the continuity of work is so important. My little office, I thank POA for allowing us to lead the strategy, lead the writing, just give us what we need and we'll produce. So I thank POA for giving us that infrastructure. And, Rachel Ivy, she has, been doing this work for a long time too. And, Will DuBose, as the mayor said, this process is to bringing up other people in a structural way. Will DuBose is an independent interior designer, And speaking of design, design matters. It changes minds. And what I always say about design is that we want to change the narrative, which changes the mind, which changes behavior, and that changes the culture. And the culture is what polices the neighborhood. So, I just like to know if anybody from the team would like to say something. I just want to create.
Good morning. My name is Andre Brumfield, principal at Gensler. I'll be very brief in my words. I just really want to thank Bill Williams, KMW, for reaching out to us and our design team to be part of this transformational effort. Of course, I want to thank Mayor Lightfoot and your initiative, Commissioner Cox, your vision. This is more than just an initiative. And as someone who not only works in communities in Chicago, but also communities across the country, this is definitely a game changer. And I think this is going to be a model for how not only the public sector can work with Black and brown developers, but also how they can work with the private sector as well to create positive change and much needed investment in our Black and brown communities. So Mayor Lightfoot, Commissioner Cox, thank you. Of course, looking forward to working with Alderman Burnett and also working, more importantly, with the community of West Humboldt Park as urban designers, architects, as planners. Just to be very clear, this image that you see here is a building, but this is more than just a building. This is more than just about a building. This is the beginning of what we think is going to be positive change, not only for Chicago Avenue, but also for the residents of West Humboldt Park. So we think beyond just the building. This is also about how we create change and be the beginning of something not only for these next 2 years, but also what this looks like in the next 5 years and ultimately what it looks like in the next 10 years for the next generation. So we can all look back in 2031, looking beyond just this building, but the other development that this is also going to be part of. So thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you. The Ave. So, we're going to stay in Humboldt Park, but let's move to North and Pulaski, which is in Alderman Maldonado's ward. Everyone knows this site for this landmark building, the Pioneer Bank, along with parking lot to the north. Again, privately owned, boarded up for years. Their redevelopment has been a longstanding community priority, so that's where we started. And now it's finally moving forward through the Invest Southwest RFP. We received 2 strong proposals for the site, and I'm very pleased to announce the winner is Team Pioneros. All right. Team Pioneros is Park Road Development and JGMA. They are joined by JGMA, also the architect, Accent Urban Design, All Construction Group, Helen Torres and Associates, GSG, MEP Infrastructure. I present to you the Park Road Development, the JGMA, Team Pioneros. If you could join us. So, Team Pioneros is a $53.9 million project, the largest in the portfolio of Invest Southwest, and will rehabilitate the Pioneer Bank building with an entrepreneurial incubator space, a Latino cultural center, and office space for JGMA. The adjacent parking lot will be redeveloped with a 9-story, 100% affordable, 75-unit residential building. There will be offices for the Humboldt Park Family Health and a potential new public branch library on the ground floor. So congratulations to Team Pioneros. If you could offer a few words.
Hello, my name is Louis Puig, and I'm principal at Parkway Development. We started about 6 months ago putting this project together. I want to thank the mayor, Lightfoot. I want to thank Commissioner Cox. I want to thank Samir. I want to thank the Alderman Maldonado for helping us in this journey. Nobody realizes the hard work that the average person doesn't realize the hard work the city puts behind the mayor and their staff, and they put behind this to put this project together. I just realized it now. You know, I was born and raised in Humboldt Park. My father started his business there about 62 years ago. I have a daughter who has a business there now. My kids live in Humboldt Park, and I'm just thankful for Alderman Maldonado for all the work he's done in that area. You hear about all the areas in the city, but you don't hear about Humboldt Park. He has a tight lip on Humboldt Park, and he really works hard. He makes sure that everything is for affordable housing now. He's promised the residents, I think, 300 or 400 units of affordable housing. And I'm very thankful for this opportunity for the city of Chicago, especially the neighborhood that I come from, to see it transform like this. I'd like to introduce Juan Moreno, the architect. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Lou. Mayor Lightfoot, thank you. On behalf of myself, my wife, this entire team, thank you. Thank you for Invest Southwest. Thank you for believing in minorities. You know, other mayors have believed in minority participation, but this is the first time in our city's history that a mayor believed in Latino and minority and black and brown leadership. Mayor, there are big projects that happen in the neighborhood, and I'm saying this with the utmost humility. We know as people of color, we have the God-given ability when those projects pop up, but there's something in our humility that says we better partner with a big firm. There's no way they'll select us. And then you come out with Invest Southwest, this is vehicle that gives us the courage and take the leap of faith to do this. Thank you. Thank you for showing a city and showing a nation that this is possible. It's not just words. This is real. Thank you. Mayor, I know I'm not supposed to give gifts, but I am an architect, and I believe in the beauty of drawing, but we have an original sketch for you from this, and it just says, por siempre apoyar las minorías. Gracias de corazón. This is from Team Pioneros. I'll share it with you. Bear with me, you guys. I know I'm only supposed to have 2 or 3 minutes, but this is huge. Commissioner Cox, most of you don't know this, but I have to tell you a story. 30 years ago, I had the great honor of meeting Professor Cox while I was a student in Florence, Italy. And he made me a better architect. Now, 30 years later, I'm grateful you chose Chicago. Commissioner Cox, you've given us a better city. Believing that design matters, not just in downtown, but in the neighborhoods, that's the place where the people deserve the best design. Thank you. I have one for you too, Commissioner Cox. Gracias por apoyar la excelencia en diseño.
Thank you. Gracias.
Thank you. Just lastly, I have to say this. Louis, thank you for taking this journey with me and having the courage to do this and pursue this together. Louis, I know our dads never met on Mother Earth, but they're in the heavens, and they're together right now, and they're raising una copita in our honor because they're super proud of us. Thank you.
Yeah. Team Paternos, thank you so much. This is what it's all about, folks. This is what's building. Yeah. This is what it's all about, folks. So let's move to our third and final location, right here in South Shore. We received two strong proposals for 1.7 acres in a transit-served properties that are adjacent to the Metro tracks at 49th and Exchange. I'm sorry, 79th and Exchange. And you're seeing the highlighted areas. Once again, property owners who willingly put their properties into the Invest Southwest portfolio. And through a thorough community-based process with the support of Alderman Mitchell, I'm very, very pleased to announce the winning team is Thrive Exchange. And if you could join me on the stage as I call out your projects. All right. All right. Thrive Exchange. Thrive Exchange is a joint venture with DL3 Realty, with Revere Properties, and Claretian Communities. It also includes Jackie Koo, LLC, DBHMS, Site Design Group, Pioneer, McRosty, Revere Properties, and Belong Construction. Thrive Exchange is a $47.3 million project that will revitalize this target site with a mix of residential and commercial uses, a new 39-unit rental building, 24 units of condominiums, and the adaptive reuse of the historic Ringer building. And there will be ancillary retail, restaurant, and a health center space in the building. They're all within walking distance of the South Shore's Metra commuter station, and it is an extraordinary mix of new and adaptive reuse. So congratulations. And I'd welcome Leon Walker. Are you going to speak for us? Congratulations.
All right, good morning, good morning, good morning. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. We got the big payback. I think Dr. Gale said it best. We rise together by lifting all in an inclusive way in Chicago. Thank you, Mayor Lightfoot, thank you for your continued unwavering support of communities, despite some of the, distractions and detractors, staying consistent and firm, even when doing the right thing is not necessarily supported and popular But doing the right thing does have a payback. And this is the payback we want to see. Creating this team that you have to support your work is what's really been inspiring. So Deputy Mayor Samir Mayakar, Commissioner Cox, Commissioner Navarro, and the team they've assembled is really how this work gets done. So we really can't do it without their really leaning into this effort, and thank you for that leadership with that team. It's proving and leading by example, showing us all that together we're stronger. We're stronger together, and that's what it's showing. And it's showing that by bringing Black and brown communities into the economic system here of Chicago, to be a vital member of the economy of Chicago matters. And it's not just charity. There's a business case for it, and that's what this is about. There's a business case for investing in our neighborhoods, and you've raised up such talent to help execute this. It's inspiring for us. And we're just happy. Our team is thrilled to be a part of this. This was a rigorous process, Alderman Greg Mitchell. Thank you for your sort of engagement on this to make sure we surface the best response. One that would be transformative. South Shore is such a great, proud community, and it needs this kind of transformative capital to move things along. And for me, it's really, coming home. I'm a native son. We built our first building in South Shore on 71st and Stony Island in 1979. Alderman Hairston, thank you for the sign for my dad on that part of the Stony Island area and street. And that was, leaning in well before people saw the value of our communities. But to have a mayor see the value in us, in our collective efforts, our communities, really makes a difference. So, Alderman Greg Mitchell, our team pledges to you to be a partner with the community in refining this proposal so that it becomes something that we're all proud of and it creates the transformative impact we want to see, the ripple effect, the positive ripple effect in South Shore that we all want to see. And what a team we have. Starting from my far left, Angela Herlock with Claretian. A powerful leader in her own right, and she brings so much verve and energy to this effort. Our DL3 team, I'm going to come back to our creative partner, but our DL3 team with Tanya Kadakia and Ryan Green, and our development partner, Lee Reed of Revere Properties. However, none of this could have been accomplished without design excellence and without a creative partner who can translate our ideas and put them on paper and communicate them in a way that engages people in this process. And to that, I give all the credit to Jackie Koo of Koo Architecture. Thank you for the support of this, and we look forward to being your partner going forward.
All right. Wow. So this is what equity, excellence, and action looks like, folks. I'm so thrilled. What a fantastic array. And I really appreciate the people giving some love to the aldermen, because you really are the foundation of this work. So all of the aldermen, we have Alderman Garza, who was an award winner for her community in the second round. Alderman Hairston, you've shown me some sites, so there's going to be a continued look out for the next round. I hear you. So it's really just been so fantastic to celebrate these winners, and really it is about celebrating this talent. There is no shortage of talent. All we needed was opportunity, and Invest Southwest has presented that. So I want to thank the evaluation teams, the community evaluators who gave us that local knowledge, the roundtable participants, and everyone who's had a hand in this spectacular beginning. Now the hard work starts, because we want to break some ground in 2022 and show people what change in equity looks like. So I'm going to invite the mayor back to the podium. I think you're going to, no? So I get the honor of closing us out, and once again, thanking everyone for coming out and celebrating with us. We will continue as the work moves forward, and thank you for your role in it. Thank you, everyone.